It's the best we've seen from him all season. Made the semis 5 years ago. Here he is, lean, mean, and ready to roll, the one and only Dave Gilbert. To a player making his 4th appearance in the last 16, 22 years after his first. Welsh Open champion last year. He had a tough old session this morning, so come on Sheffield, raise the roof for the man we call the cider drinker, the milkman, Robert Milkins.
Well, you can watch Jack Jones and Jiahui on Discovery Plus, but it's also worth knowing that once Gilbert and Milkins end, and it could be fairly quick, we are going to head over to table 2 because we've got a brilliant evening of snooker ahead and we do not want you to miss a single pot ball. So, to talk us through this one this evening, we can hand to our commentary team of Neil Folds and Phil Yates.
Thank you. Frame 17, David Gilbert to break.
Thanks, Radzi. Thanks, the lads in the studio, for setting this up. It might be a lengthier preamble than a frame in this. I'm going to get this in early, I need to. Dave Gilbert finished off with 354 unanswered points in the second session. If he wins this one with another 132 unanswered points, it's the most ever at the Crucible. Most unanswered points here. 485. John Higgins against Anthony Hamilton, last 16 in the year 2000. Has Milkins got any resistance left?
Well, the answer is going to be no, isn't it? In that he's not going to win, basically. This is a deficit you're not going to see overturned, but now it's down to him trying to win frames and just see how deep into the evening he can take the match before the screen comes up and the other match is on. I mean, that's the brutal truth of it. You know, 11-5, you mightn't be quite saying that because we have seen it overturned on a couple of occasions, but not this scoreline. And the damage was done very much this morning by Gilbert, who got better and better, and he was actually quite superb towards the end of that session. That's the best I've seen him play since he was a semi-finalist here the year that Judd won the title.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm, wasn't it, for Rob Milkins? He played poorly, and Gilbert, especially in the last 4 frames of the session, was outstanding.
As for Milkins, he's had some terrific wins here at the Crucible. He's beaten Neil Robertson twice. He had that fine victory last year after the interruption in play on that Thursday morning from 7-2 down to beat Joe Perry. But they're all best of 19s. He's never won a best of 25 here. It's the 5th time in round 2. He's going to end the same way as the others. Well, he can afford a very attacking shot. The only problem with that is the reds have spread, but the pink has joined the black now, and they're very difficult to get on from where they are. I felt for Rob Milkins. You know, look, we know he chucked his cue, but I don't blame anyone for being disappointed. You know, he probably isn't proud of it, but at least he cares.
I'll tell you what, after that, if the pink and black were easily accessible, the John Higgins points with that reply record could be under threat. Not just yet, because this is not a straightforward chance.
Well, Phil, I know you've been very excited about this points unanswered record. And as you say, it's going to take something quite amazing for him to beat the record here. But those sort of stats are where the numbers people get very excited, don't they? You know, it's a total domination record, really, which, of course, O'Sullivan, in a non-ranking event, the Masters, completely owned Ricky Walden that year, didn't he? That was the one that we all think of, but it's not a ranking event, but it was a complete demolition job, wasn't it, at the Ali Pali?
It was. Our life, when it comes to trotting out these statistics, greatly helped by a gentleman from Bournemouth called Chris Downer, who produces each year the Crucible Almanac, and it's all there for us on a plate. I actually spied Chris in the audience over the first weekend, and I'm sure he'll be back as the championship progresses.
Just on that record, 556 unanswered points in the Masters 2014, O'Sullivan, Walden. But as we say, that's not a Crucible record. Yeah, I mean, Chris Downer is, the almanac is quite something. Yeah. And he meticulously updates it, and there's some extraordinary stats in there. Stuff you didn't think you ever needed to know, but when you do, you feel better off for it. Anyway, these points are still mounting. But as Phil said, the pink and black being safe suggests a large break. He's not going to break any records. He's just going to win Gilbert this match swiftly. I don't expect him to continue how he left off, because he was absolutely brilliant towards the end of that session.
15.
What he doesn't have is a huge amount of cue power. And the reason I say that is this bottom red. If he tries to pot it and go up for the blue, you almost need Ryan Day to play the shot for you. We saw his cue power. And instead he's looking at a plant because he doesn't feel he can get from red to colour from the one that he's on. And we saw Ryan play a wonderful shot on the green to brown in his win against Barry Hawkins. If David Gilbert was to try to hit that bottom red, we might get a chance to find out. And we'll see what happens to his cue action. Now he's playing, revealingly, the plant instead. Nice shot, though.
16.
With the added bonus of making the pink a little more available, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be a good shot to get from blue to his next red. Again, a lot of force has got to be applied from where he is. Well, if he was trying to do that, that is. He didn't try.
21.
It's going to have to be a good shot now.
David Gilbert, 21.
Yes, he left himself a difficult red. He obviously felt he couldn't take the blue round the angles sufficiently.
This is going to be Gilbert's first win at the Crucible since he beat Chris Wakelin in the first round 10-4 in 2021. And it's going to be, if he wins this frame, comfortably the most convincing victory he's ever had in Sheffield.
Taking a long time on this shot, and he doesn't see an easy way of getting on the next ball. This is a tight red he's playing. Well, he's not even playing it. He refused the red that was on there.
It just seems to me that all of the fight, all of the vim and vigour has been taken out of Rob Milkins. Understandably so.
One.
He's going to go through a whole season without making a ranking event quarter-final as Milkins. It's only the second for Dave Gilbert. And the way he's played today, Neil, you have to wonder, how can that be?
Yeah, I mean, players come to life at this great venue, don't they? Jack Jones seems to love it here. He's next on the other table. And the man he's playing last year, Jiahui, also. Something about this place. And if you've been here enough times, you've got a love-hate relationship with the place, quite honestly. There were lots of tears after that defeat to John Higgins in the semi-final here, 2019. But this is the crucible for you. You've got good and bad memories of playing here, if you've been here enough.
Can tell you Jiahui is going to win the first frame of the evening on the other table.
20.
Reducing the deficit to 6-3.
The curious thing about that match is he's,
21.
as you say, 6-3 down, but he's completely outpointed Jack Jones as far as points gained. But that doesn't win your frames, all that. It means you just lose all the close ones.
In this match, Milkins lost the majority of the close ones early on. Late on, he's been blitzed.
There's an example of what I'm saying about
28.
Gilbert. He's a lovely player, but he does not have cue power. He couldn't make that cue ball do anything there. It was like two rocks hitting each other.
He doesn't play again until Tuesday in the quarterfinals, so he'll be wanting to finish this off as quickly as possible, fulfill his media engagements, and then, I would presume, tootle on back down the M1 to Tamworth, his home base.
David Gilbert, 28.
That's why there's no nonchalance whatsoever.
There's been one bad shot after another. Has he covered the reds? Not even sure about that. No, he hasn't. So nothing's gone right this evening. It's just a kind of extension of what happened this morning, really. And slightly more agonising terms, this frame.
One.
404 unanswered points.
He knew he'd got too much right inside on that. He'd probably come to the table again, Milkins, without the frame being over. I guess if he took this red and a high value colour, that mightn't be the case. Oh, beautiful shot.
7.
What is it? Our former colleague Clive Everton at this point would have said, Phil, any last vestige of hope has been extinguished. And that's what he would say about now, and you couldn't put it any better.
Indeed.
11.
And that is that. The session is going to last 17 minutes. In boxing, they say the O must go. It didn't go for Milkins in the last 4 frames. He's drawn a blank in all of them. Milkins wasn't robbed. Oh no. Dave was dynamic. And that's why Gilbert is through in a canter by 13 frames to 4. The quarterfinals beckon.
Judd Trump breaking off. He made a century, a second of the match in the frame before last, but he's not been flawless this morning. He's made a few mistakes, including the red he missed just now, which allowed Ford to prolong this match. So 12-7, having resumed 11-5 up. He's overcut the red by a margin.
Yeah, because he cut it too thin.
collided with the reds, and a chance for Trump. Looks a little hard without a kiss. Oh, that was a nice little rub. He wasn't on anything. And he missed the blue there. He wasn't on a colour. That cue ball would have reached the cushion.
Six.
That's a great recovery shot. And nicely on the yellow. That wasn't easy at all.
Nine.
Inevitably, thoughts are turning to a possible semi-final showdown between the two best players in the world this season, and indeed most seasons recently. Mark Allen would be part of that conversation as well, but of course Ronnie O'Sullivan in this section of the draw. He plays Ryan Day next. There's a lot of snooker to be played, clearly, before any of that comes to pass, but they're certainly the favourites to get there and face off once
16.
again. O'Sullivan has had much the better of things of late against Trump, who himself enjoyed a purple patch against O'Sullivan, not least those 3 consecutive Northern Ireland Open final victories, which was really the catalyst for him to become a serial winner.
17.
But that's all in the future, and there are plenty of other players who'll have something to say about that. In the meantime, Trump wants this over with before the interval.
He's struggling in this break, isn't he? This mini break. Again, very fortunate to have been on that red. Didn't play for that red. Back in good position though.
22.
I think the pink will go to the right corner. But also got the blue that he could play for to keep the break going.
23.
Well, again, he would have liked to have been straighter on this red.
29.
But might just be able to play for the pink. Yep.
30. $36. $37.
What a gorgeous shot that was. Playing the cannon to the red and the black. Look at all the side on the cue ball. And he couldn't have caught them any better. And that's exactly what he played. The cannon to the red and the black. Leave him on those 2 reds. That wasn't quite as good. The wrong side of the pink. He could still play the cannon to the red on the cushion or drop on the red to the left corner. He played the cannon, and he's okay. He's on the red to the baulk corner, the green pocket.
50.
When things go wrong for Trump, he soon gets them back in order.
51.
No one better, in my view, at keeping a break going when things do become tricky. He's such a great shot maker. So often we've seen him come to the table with the balls far from ideal and conjure a significant break. He's done it in this match. Tom Ford fearing the worst now, wondering if his World Championship adventure is shortly coming to an end.
Look at that for a positional shot.
56.
All those reds were covering one another, and it was difficult to get on one, but he found a gap there.
57.
Terrific shot.
Only 67 left, so Trump is a colour, a red and another colour away from the quarterfinals. This red will mean Ford needs snookers,
63.
but is he going to get the chance to play?
Yeah, you could see him taking absolute care and
64.
just getting that red. And now he can concentrate on trying to make another century, back to back.
Well, this will surely seal it. In it goes. It's been another
70.
ominously impressive all-round performance from the 2019 champion.
71.
Tom Ford will look back on that fifth frame as a turning point when he was playing well. He was on the verge of taking a 3-2 lead. Missed one he should have got. Trump stepped in. And from that moment, Trump has taken control of this match and never looked like relinquishing it. Couple of errors this morning, but
77.
you are allowed to miss occasionally in this sport. Trump hasn't been missing much in the first two rounds. He's looking very, very sharp, as he's done all season. How about that for a pot?
Incredible. Where does he get them from? And listen to the applause for that particularly good shot. He does not want to stop potting balls. He loves to entertain.
84.
And we love to watch him.
So Trump, 84.
Judd Trump is through to his 10th World Championship quarter-final. He's seen off Tom Ford with something to spare, a couple of centuries, but a very impressive all-round performance. His match play is looking in terrific shape. He's going to take some stopping this year in his bid for a second world title.
Please welcome a player now just 4 frames away from a second successive Crucible quarter-final. It's been another brilliant run on the biggest stage of all. He always saves his best for last. Always calm, always composed. The silent assassin, Jack Jones. Also trying to close in on back-to-back quarter-finals after that epic run to the semis last year. He's beaten Mark Williams in a tense decider already this year, and he dug deep last night to reduce the deficit. He'll be fired up for this afternoon. Here comes China's Jiahui.
Good afternoon. A big session of snooker here at the Crucible. The
22. Jack Jones to break.
Well, how Jack Jones would love another frame like the last one. 70-80's break, very crisp and swift. Killed it off. He wants one more, of course, to set up a meeting with Judd Trump in the quarterfinals of the World Championship. This is pacey, and there's a red to middle. Well, at least that same red, for Jack Jones's perspective, has run safe. I can see Jiahui getting encouragement for reds down the other end of the table, but he's bang under it now because he knows one mistake, that could be it.
Well, signs there that the concentration has been broken. Comes to the table with a good opportunity, but he's 3 frames behind. The belief is disappearing. When that starts to happen, your focus, your concentration starts to go as well.
One.
Well, Jack does have a little bit of breathing space now with this 3-frame advantage, but this black is very tricky.
That's a really terrific part, isn't it? It almost feels like that could be a match winner, even though he's only actually scored 8 points here. You just feel,
8.
after the last frame, he's in the right frame of mind to get this one now. It's in his hands anyway.
Well, I think with the performance of the previous frame, Jack will feel very good about winning frame a match at this opportunity.
9. $14. $15.
Because he wasn't straight on that red, it did cause a problem positionally, but he'd be happy enough with this outcome because he has a good angle on the black and he'll fancy knocking this in. Well, I was wrong.
Jack Jones, 15.
Very surprising miss. He's done very little wrong upon the resumption of play after the mid-session interval. I have thoughts of the winning line, I wonder there.
Well, indeed, I mean, there's a lot of old cliches in snooker, but a lot of them are true. And the last frame being the hardest to win is one of them, but Jiahui's struggling badly now. He's just handing opportunities to Jack Jones to get this one, and that's going to make Jones feel a lot better. The idea that, well, if I don't get it one in the first visit, I might have a couple more.
Sometimes as a player you just can't believe the mistakes that you can make, the balls that you can miss, that you feel that you can only miss here at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, nowhere else.
One. Six. Seven.
Jack just having a look at that quartet of reds. Just wonder where the pink will respot in relation to them. Is it spot occupied? Does it go on the black spot? That would be a certain help to Jack Jones if that's the case. Well, you can just see the pink spot there. Very difficult to know whether it will go on it.
Thirty. $14.
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that I'll be very surprised to see Jiahui return to the table in this match in this year's Kazoo World Championships.
There are still rough edges clearly to be ironed out in what is a very promising player in Jiahui. Exciting player, they got a lot of crowd support. But Jack Jones, as you say, has it in his hands to put this away now. And what an achievement that would be for him to reach another quarter-final. First player in 25 years to reach back-to-back quarter-finals after a Crucible debut. Matthew Stevens was the last. It's all the talk of leaving the Crucible. I think Jack Jones will like every event played here, because it's where he seems to be able to get wins.
27.
Having to play the bottom red of the two because the top one isn't quite available.
Jack Jones.
Well, Jack
27.
Jones, for those of you joining us from the other match, poised to get it won there, and has missed that red. 42-0 up, 12-9 up against Jiahui. Was looking good. He made a 78 break in the last frame, but not over yet. It's been quite a lengthy session. The first frame was 59 minutes. Jiahui has made a lot of mistakes in recent frames, but he's not out yet, and he could have been there. So what does he have left here? Semi-finalist last year.
7. 8.
Lost 5 frames on the black yesterday. Won the first one today. That 59-minute on the black was also only 10-9 down. Lost the pre-interval frame. Jack Jones played very well in the next, that 78 break, but this one not over yet.
$14. 15.
Slowly working himself back into this frame. Frame, of course, that if he doesn't win, we'll see him eliminated. Red that's next to the black will pot into the corner pocket, which will help, because then he can try to bring the black into play.
$19. 20.
So Jiahui has played for the red next to the black. Pot shouldn't be too difficult as long as he doesn't take his eye off it, because he won't have much of an idea where the cue ball will finish here.
27.
I'll be happy with that. Beautifully on the blue. Black in open play. And Jack Jones will be slightly concerned now.
Well, nothing focuses the mind like the instant prospect of elimination from the World Championship. Jiahui might not have got this chance, but it's come along. He's suddenly looking sharp again.
33.
Jack Jones realises, as we do here, that this red is far from easy. Just 4 points behind now. Green could be a problem ball for both players. No. Where's the cue ball going? More to the point. That's okay. Pretty much got away with it.
Well, there was a sort of horrified cry, wasn't there, from someone in the audience? Jiahui supporter, presumably. So 4 points in it. This, of course, was Jack Jones's miss when he was 42-0 up.
Well, the cue ball is quite high up the table, but that's still a decent safety shot because it's never easy playing a safety shot when the object ball is so close to a cushion rail. Oh, but Jiahui's played that very nicely.
Good grief. What a time to get a bit of luck like that. Worth saying the last red's now on the bulk cushion, but even so, this one's in. Flicked off the other one.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference because Jack doesn't necessarily have to pot a colour here. It could leave Jiahui in quite a tricky snooker. In all honesty, that's what I think Jack will do. Might be an idea if he could manage it to put the black near the corner pocket so that if he does get a chance at the red, he'd only have to drop it in.
Jack Jones, 1. Well, the miss.
Well, yeah,
Jack
could have been a
Jones,
free
6.
ball there with the black waiting, but isn't. But it'll be going back.
Jack.
There's a lot of side spin on the cue ball there, which helps us around the angles to, well, I wouldn't even say relative safety. This red still cuts in, but it's very tricky. 11 points the difference, so yes, Jack would still need that tricky green. Jack not on the black, but if he can come off this top cushion and rest him behind it, it could well be, you know, that you get enough penalty points in misses to be safe anyway.
Black ball. Jack Jones, 1.
Yeah, either way it's danger. Obviously, if he hits the yellow and leaves it on. Equally, if this is a load of penalty points coming up. Well, he certainly hit it. Needs some cover. He's got it. Amazing.
Well, it's now a similar scenario to last night's session, where they have the auditorium to themselves and the atmosphere just heats up ever so slightly more.
Well, the very first frame went to the black, as have 5 subsequent ones. It wouldn't be that much of a surprise if this one did, I guess. And then, if Jiahui were to win it, the organisers would have to decide, are they going to play another frame? It's coming up to 6 o'clock. May get one more in potentially, but they've been quite lengthy, some of them, today. Jack Jones, if he wins it, of course, it doesn't matter, he's through.
I'm not sure what safety shot Jiahui will play here. He could try to get the cubal in behind the black, but I'm just wondering if the brown may go safe as a result of this safety shot.
Well, the brown's gone to the cushion. Got a snooker. But that will complicate things a little bit. Jack Jones will also need the brown as it stands.
Pretty simple to hit the yellow, but Jack ideally would like to see distance between the 2 balls.
Yeah, green and brown still not in great positions, really, so this frame could still take a while to resolve itself. And that would mean there's a good chance this would be the last frame. If Jiahui won it, they would be coming back later. We haven't had that officially yet, but he's sort of starting to get towards that time where a decision would have to be made.
Safety from Jack Jones, a lot of distance between the balls, but I wonder if Jiahui can try to get the cubal in behind the green here. Well, that's a type of safety he played a lot of in yesterday evening session. Jiahui played a couple of negative safeties when he didn't necessarily have to. And of course that's given Jack Jones to put him back in further trouble now. Jack may well try to bring the brown into play here. As Dave has already said, he would need it. That 12-point advantage that he has. Went all out for the double. Jack Jones, in my opinion, played for position on the green, but he's been very fortunate. That yellow finishing near the centre pocket. Oh, but well done. What a trick shot. Beautifully played.
This has been typical of the match, this sort of frame. Close, exciting, all sorts happening.
Jiahui, 2.
It's going to be the last frame either way, so obviously if Jack Jones wins, it's over. If not, 12-10, they'll have an uncomfortable wait of a few hours. They'll have to wait for a table to be free tonight, and of course there's 2 8-frame sessions. Jack Lazowski, Stuart Bingham. That doesn't sound like a long session, but you're probably talking about 10 o'clock, or Joe O'Connor, Karen Wilson, if that's over first. There's the yellow again. Obviously, they've got to get the audience out. They've got to get the audience in. There's extra security this year, so it's an understandable decision. Ooh. Well, it's all happening now, isn't it?
Jiahui,
Black's
7.
in. 7 points for C.
Absolutely, and how useful may those 7 points be come the end of this frame.
Grief. That was, well, full-blooded, I suppose you'd have to say. Needs it on the cushion, and he's okay.
Very wild. He really is a diamond in the rough, Jiahui. He doesn't know the game of snooker yet. He's got a lot of learning to do in terms of constructing breaks, playing the right red at the right time for the right reason. He sees things very differently to other players at the moment, but he's very young. He has a great future ahead of him, obviously.
Well, the green's one thing. Obviously, the brown then is going to be the key ball.
I think both players would prefer it if that brown is an open play, so this would be a tactical battle that would likely result in the winning of the frame for one of the players. But once again, it's another frame that advances over the half-an-hour mark.
Well, the green's been left on, so now the brown is the issue. I mean, it looked over, didn't it? 42-0, Jack Jones was in. Mr. Red to this right corner.
Oh, here's a bit of a conundrum for Jack Jones, because yes, he can pot the green, but he may not have an easy safety to play on the brown unless he can get close to it somehow. So now he's faced with a double on the brown or a safety. Which is it to be?
Jack Jones, 3.
Well, the other 3 balls are all out in the open, so this brown now is huge. Jiahui trying to keep the match alive. Jack Jones trying to get over the line. The players are probably unaware, I'm sure they are, that this is the last frame of the session. Not good. Not good for Jiahui of China. A semi-finalist last year. Very exciting talent. Still with a bit of rawness. He's handed Jack Jones a chance to get this one. he needs brown and blue.
Yeah, he's played that shot with the extension piece, and it just pushes the cue ball differently when using side spin, so caught the brown too thick. And this shouldn't be difficult from Jack Jones' point of view, just has to deal with the pressure.
Four.
He won 5 frames on the black earlier in the match. It made a big difference. He nods his head as he checks the scores. He needs the blue, and Jiahui needs a snooker. It's been a match full of tension, some long frames, some drama, flukes. It's all added to great entertainment. But this is the ball now that should get him over the line. They want to pot this pink as well, though, obviously, to stop any playing on. The match just shy of 9 hours playing time. It's been a bit of a marathon. But the pink is going in. And for the second year in a row, Jack Jones has come from the qualifiers to reach the quarterfinals of the World Championship. It was hard going at times. He doesn't care. He's over the line. He's beaten Jiahui by 13 frames to 9. And next up for the Welshman.